Hey folks, this week marks the 5-year anniversary of Stay Tuned. 5 years. It's hard to believe. To celebrate the anniversary, I asked you folks for a little help. I put out a call a few weeks ago for listener voicemails reacting to the 5-year anniversary of the show, and you delivered. I was completely blown away by the responses we got from all over the world.
Hi, Preet. Jeffrey Banks calling from Bangkok, Thailand.
Hi, this is Marie Pierce. I'm calling from Birmingham, Michigan.
Good morning, Preet. This is Ginger Rothmeyer calling from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hey, Preet. This is Emma from Japan.
Hey, Preet. This is Jonathan from New York.
Hi, Preet. My name's Christy. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
The country and the world looked a lot different in September 2017. Donald Trump was still in office. No one on earth had yet heard of COVID-19. In March of that year, I was fired from my job as U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. As spring turned to summer, it felt like each day brought a barrage of important and often painful and confusing news. So it was in that context that we launched the show, to help make sense of the changes and the challenges facing the country and our lives, but also to highlight the efforts of the folks working to make it better. And over the years, we've had so many brilliant guests. Here are some of your favorites.
I wanted to share that the morning of the election in 2020 was especially poignant for me. You talked about how the uneasy, anxious feeling that we all had was really just democracy at work, and that our uncertain elections are a hallmark of the American experiment. And although democracy is messy, we have to let it work.
My favorite show or episode was the caste system. It really gave me a lot to think about and to pause and to listen and be empathetic with concepts that growing up as a white girl in the Midwest, I will never understand or live myself. But to hear the experience of Isabel Wilkerson was astounding.
I still recall when you quoted one of my all-time favorite workout songs by Bruce Springsteen in a sad but all-true prediction about the former president. That song was Badlands, and the line was, "Old man wanna be rich, rich man wanna be king, and a king ain't satisfied till he rules everything."
I was 18 when 9/11 happened, and of course had a huge impact on me like a lot of Americans. Your episode explaining why the court case kind of evolved how it did in military court versus civilian court, sort of how things were handled, answered a lot of questions I've had over the years.
Interestingly, some of you had the same favorite guest.
My favorite episode is the one with the first time you interviewed Bill Browder and learning about what happened to him in Russia and learning about his Sergei Magnitsky and how the Magnitsky Act came into being.
Bill Browder.
I really have to say the episode with Bill Browder has to be the one that stands out in my mind.
Some of you shared more than just your favorite moments from the show. It was incredible to hear how Stay Tuned has impacted you over the years.
I just wanted to say that I've been a listener from the very beginning, and you got me through the Trump years, which was amazing and a huge blessing for me to make it through. And by listening to your show and finding out that there's other people that think like I do.
I want you to know that it is very important to me that you continue your podcast, because having a granddaughter, I need to know that there is a future for her.
As a retired high school journalism teacher, I'm appreciative of Preet's meticulous preparation for each interview. The overall quality, the questions that Preet asks his guests are evidence of this pre-interview diligence.
The thing I appreciate the most about your podcast isn't a particular guest or episode, although there have been many great ones of both. It's the consistently civil and reasonable tone of your comments and the discourse with your guests. You refuse to participate in the outrage machine, and it is so helpful and so good for my mental health.
And as our community of listeners has grown, so has our team of cafe hosts. It's been a privilege to learn from them, and it sounds like you all are fans as well.
Before Trump became the candidate and the nominee for president, I was never registered to vote. I never cared about politics. I was never interested. I felt like it was somewhat above my pay grade. But when he became the nominee, I felt that it was my duty as an American to get involved and to understand politics and how somebody like him would be the chosen candidate to become president. The interview that you had with Heather Cox Richardson and her being a political historian, it really helped to open my eyes. And ever since immersing myself more into the culture, I am now at a position where I listen to her regularly on her Now and Then podcast with Joanne Freeman.
Preet, Judy Kelly here. I'm an Oregonian, a widow nearing 80. I have been with you since almost the beginning. You, Joyce Vance, and Heather Cox Richardson are my most trusted and appreciated sources for news.
It's always great to experience the skills and talents of our hosts and guests. And more rarely, we get the pleasure of doing the same for our listeners. One listener in particular, whose name is Rebecca, sent us this original song.
I'm staying tuned to Preet Bharara, he's my guide. With his closing thoughts, he makes me laugh and cry. He's spinning gold from straw, I'm grateful he got fired. Now for the boss of sanity, Bharara's hired.
I mean, that might have to compete to be our new theme song. But in all seriousness, I have to say, I am truly so filled with gratitude and thanks. Looking back at the last half-decade making this show, none of it would have been possible without your support, feedback, questions, thoughts, and most importantly, the commitment to a better democracy and a better world. Thank you for joining me and the rest of the Cafe team on this incredible journey. There's more to come, so as always, stay tuned.